How's it going, Lisa? Bruce is up. I'll be Sixkilla. Welcome back to Quantum Suicide. We've got our rules for the next game. I still don't really know what's going to happen or how it's going to work, but we know we're in the shit team. So let's find out what's going to happen next, I guess.
Of course you do.
I feel like we're on the road to something bad, though. So I don't sneak up on me like that.
Why not?
Because you frightened me.
Can people die from being scared?
I think so, if they're scared enough. And they have a heart condition? I don't...
One moment. I'm checking the database. Who would have thought?
What?
Humans can, in fact, die from being scared, although it's highly unlikely. Apparently, the human body releases adrenaline when frightened, which causes calcium channels inside the membranes of the heart to open, allowing calcium ions to rush into the heart. This, in turn, causes the heart muscles to contract. Too many calcium ions, and they don't stop contracting.
Huh?
Your heart stops working, and so do you.
That's what happens when your heart stops working. Oh.
I should be more careful. I don't want to kill any of my contestants. Or do I?
Of course you do. That's the whole point of the game, isn't it? Di, what do you want?
Can't a girl stop by and check in on her favorite player? Besides, I already finished explaining everything to those ingrates over on Team B. Just between you and me, I hope you win.
Di smiled almost sweetly. There was still something off about it. The red eyes might be the giveaway. What's the punishment if we talk to each other?
Curious little rabbit, aren't we?
I just want to know what happens. Di leaned in close to me before whispering.
It's a secret.
That isn't helpful at all.
When you get someone a present, you don't tell them what you got them. You just wait and give it to them. It's always more fun if it's a surprise. Besides, I hope you never have to find out.
Yeah, but it's not like you're not getting us a present. When you give someone a present, it's not usually a shit sandwich or something, you know? It's something they're excited to get. Is it that bad?
Or is it that good?
Good for you is probably not good for me.
Oh, you got me. Let's just say, it's not in everyone's interests.
But it would be in someone's interest? Di shrugged.
Who knows?
Oh, Di, you're so frustrating.
Mission accomplished.
Di saluted me before dissipating. Awesome, what a waste of time and energy. I made my way into the halls, only to be drawn in by one of the most enticing aromas I'd ever smelt in my life. Following the irresistible pull of this intoxicating scent, I inevitably arrived at the kitchen.
Ah, good morning, sailor.
I wish you wouldn't say that, it creeps me out. I was greeted by Beatrix's smiling face as she went about preparing breakfast. She moved about the kitchen so gracefully. It was as if this is where she truly felt most comfortable. It was a strange sight, to say the least, given her infamous resistance to cooking duty. Good morning, Beatrix. Breakfast smells amazing.
Of course it does.
What's for breakfast? I'm not familiar with this particular scent. I made apple and cinnamon muffins. Wow, they sound delicious.
They were my mother's favorite. She taught me how to make them when I was little. Incidentally, they're also Nicholas's favorite.
I can see why. Seriously, I don't think I've been so excited to eat something. The aroma is making my stomach ache from anticipation.
Calm down, sailor. Here.
Beatrix handed me a tray of muffins.
Take these into the dining hall. Nicholas and Yoshiki should already be there. I'll grab some ice cream to go with them.
Ice cream for breakfast?
I might die on Sunday. I'm having ice cream for breakfast.
That's fair. I don't think there's ever been a better reason to. With those words, I spun on my heel and headed out to the dining hall with the muffins securely in my hands. It was difficult to restrain myself from eating them. The aroma was so close now, so intense. As I arrived at the dining hall, I ran into Nicholas.
Oh, sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, and so are the muffins, thankfully. Nicholas's eyes widened as he looked at the tray of muffins in my hands.
Beatrix made apple and cinnamon muffins?
Yeah, she did.
We usually only have these on special occasions. I wonder what's happened.
We're all still alive.
We don't need a special occasion, little brother.
Beatrix appeared behind me with the ice cream.
Maybe we should stop waiting for special occasions and enjoy it while we can.
Well, when you only got a few days left.
While I don't agree with your pessimistic tone, I'm willing to agree if it means I get to eat apple and cinnamon muffins.
Good call.
You are such a simple soul, little brother.
Nicholas smiled at Beatrix as he took the ice cream out of her hands and placed it on the table. I put the tray of muffins down next to it. Yoshiki was sitting at the seat, squirming as we all took our seats.
Can I eat yet?
Where are your manners?
You're dribbling. Yoshiki looked away sheepishly.
I'm sorry, Nicholas. Beatrix, thank you for making breakfast.
You're welcome. Now, hurry up and eat, or else the muffins won't melt the ice cream.
Yoshiki's eyes lit up as he reached across the table and started serving himself.
What are your plans for today?
I have no idea. I'm not sure yet. I need to speak with I at some point about this dye situation, but other than that...
I'm sure all of us would appreciate the company if you got bored.
No. Thanks, Nicholas. I started helping myself to the muffins and ice cream as the conversation continued. They were hands down one of the best things I'd ever tasted. The warm muffins, now glazed with melted ice cream, were fluffy on the inside with a hint of cinnamon in every bite. Beatrix was a great cook.
What are you doing today, Nicholas?
I was planning on going out to the farm to get us some fresh vegetables for dinner. I'm sure Katashi is still taking care of the livestock, but I'll double check while I'm there.
I'm pretty sure he is. The sheep all looked well yesterday.
You were at the farm yesterday?
I was just... getting apples. I needed some for today's muffins.
Sounded dodgy.
And what a treat they've been. Thank you, Beatrix.
Yoshiki, what are your plans?
I have to take care of some engineering stuff. You know, metal and wires and stuff.
That sounds fake.
I am the only engineer on board. I think I would know a bit about the metal and wires and stuff.
Oh dear God. Our lives are in your hands. Isn't Katashi an engineer?
Agricultural engineers don't count. The only reason he's able to grow plants in the first place is because I keep the hydroponic systems running smoothly.
Have I hit a nerve?
No. But seriously, I'm a real engineer with engineer things to do.
Oh, engineer things. Good. Okay, I trust you. Beatrix, what are your plans?
I'm going to the science lab to check on Vladimir's workload and pick up his most pressing tasks where he left off.
That's so thoughtful. We all look at Beatrix expectantly.
Fine. It was a direct order, but I would have done it anyway.
No sooner had Yoshiki finished scarfing down his breakfast than he excused himself.
I would love to stay and help clean up. But metal and wires and stuff, you know?
Huh. With a grin, Yoshiki jumped from his seat and disappeared out the door.
This has been wonderful, Beatrix. I can't think of a better way to start the day.
Thank you, Nicholas. Make sure to pick whatever vegetables you want for dinner and get them to the kitchen between 4 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. so I can have them cooked by 5 p.m. Katashi and I are taking shifts because we aren't allowed in the room at the same time.
Of course.
I thought you just weren't allowed to talk to each other.
Thanks, bro. I trust you and your busy schedule can handle the dishes.
I suppose I can. I smiled weakly. I was so entranced by these muffins that there was no way I could deny their creator at this point.
Thank you. Alright, brother. Let's get to work.
Nicholas stacked his plate with Beatrix's before standing and leaving with her. It's your time to shine, Jordan. Doing these dishes has always been your strong suit. I laughed to myself as I collected the plates and made my way to the kitchen to clean up. Those muffins are so good I couldn't stop smiling. It only took me about 10 minutes to clean up, so I headed back to my room to look over more of my notes before dedicating time to help anyone out. I sat on my bed and pulled out the pocket watch. How is this supposed to connect to alternate realities? How is that even possible? I stared at it intensely. There was a clasp button at the top, which allowed you to open the watch, but from there it got a bit strange. There was a small button on either side of the clasp, and 2 sets of second clocks inside the watch. The one on the left had the number 42 on it, the meaning of life, but the one on the right was empty and didn't seem to be working. The rest of the watch worked and displayed the current time. The other interesting feature was the LED lights arranged on another section of the watch. I guess I won't know unless I press the buttons. Here goes. I pressed the left button. The LED lights on the outside started lighting up one after another, and then stopping, making it look like a green ring circling the watch. It did this 3 times and then stopped. Huh. Right button, I choose you. I pressed the right button and hoped for a better response. Bzz, bzz. The watch made a buzzing noise. Aside from that, nothing happened. I tried again. Bzz, bzz. Awesome, I feel like I've made so much progress. I sighed as I continued to stare at the watch. How is this supposed to connect? Why didn't my parents leave more information? Frustrated, I slid the watch back into my pocket. Presumably they've never connected it. Alright, let's go give someone a hand. Ugh. Well, I mean, at this point, ho. Did I just take a screenshot somehow? Whoops. I didn't know I did that. I'd say Yoshiki, but metal and wires and stuff. Yoshiki. I made my way down to the engineering bay where I found Yoshiki bent over a workbench. Hey, Yoshiki. Yoshiki spun on his heels to face me, shifting his weight to try and hide what was on the table behind him.
Oh, it's you. What a relief.
Who are you expecting?
I don't really know, but I just...
What are you hiding?
Huh? Hiding?
I smirked and raised my eyebrow at Yoshiki. You're not getting off the hook that easy.
Fine, I'll spill the beans, but don't tell anyone, okay?
That really depends on what kind of crazy contraption you're hiding behind you.
Seriously? I thought we were BFFs.
I have no idea why you would think that. Alright, I promise I won't tell anyone now. What are you hiding?
So, you know how I said I had to do some engineering stuff?
Vividly, yes. Uh-huh.
Well, this is what I've been working on.
Yoshiki moved aside to show what he was hiding on the workbench. It appeared to be a doll of some kind. Upon closer inspection, however, I discovered that it bore a striking resemblance to I. At least not the evil one. I didn't know you could make toys.
Are you kidding? Of course I can make toys. I can make almost anything if we have the resources to produce it.
Really? Can you make me a doll too?
Only if it's a Yoshiki doll.
Yoshiki winked at me and smiled. Little
What
creepy.
am I saying? Who needs a doll when you have the real thing you can play with?
Haha, too true, BFF. I winked back at Yoshiki, who giggled. Oh my god, are we in a relationship with Yoshiki?
Anyway, here. You should hold it.
Yoshiki picked up the eye doll and passed it to me. I was surprised when I almost dropped it. It was much heavier than I expected. It was a lot heavier than I was expecting.
What did you expect? Stuffing?
What is it, a robot? I don't understand. Why'd you make such a heavy doll?
I've been working on this doll as a device that I can connect to and control.
Ah, physical body. So
I can have a physical body.
the same eye that currently turns into dye and murders our friends and family every week.
Well, yeah, but...
Does the captain know about this?
Yes, she's the only one who knows other than me and I.
And she approved this.
Well, technically I started building this before Dai started killing people.
Does she know you're still working on this, even with dye killing people?
Well, no, but it's okay.
What? How is this okay? Why would we give the AI system currently murdering people a physical body? Well, you should attach chainsaws to its hands as well. Idiot.
You need to calm down. There's nothing to worry about. I've already thought of everything.
What precautions have you taken?
To begin with, this robot is, what, 30 centimeters tall? And there is no real strength in her limbs or abilities. She's limited to basic functions, like holding and carrying small items.
Like a knife? Yoshiki frowned.
Such a pessimist.
Seriously though, what if Dai gets control of this?
Oh, she can't.
What? Why not?
I'll let I explain that herself.
Yoshiki took the robot doll out of my hands and placed it back on the workbench. Yoshiki flipped a switch on its back, causing the robot to hum with potential energy.
You can connect to your robot body now, I
heard Ai's voice come over the intercom in the engineering bay.
Very well.
Just as she finished speaking, the robot's eyes opened.
Hello.
Are you in the robot doll thing?
Affirmative.
Huh, this is really cute.
Thank you.
Oh god. Anyway, how can we be sure that Dai doesn't get access to this robot doll thing?
I have an authorization sequence that runs every 30 seconds in the background of the doll's programming. If it fails a single one, the program accessing it is immediately locked out and the robot stops functioning entirely.
So why can't Dai simply bypass the authorization check?
Because she doesn't know the sequence.
Couldn't she just access it some other way?
No, just like she cannot access what I am doing or my history, she cannot access this authorization sequence, so it's quite safe.
I guess if it's safe, it should be okay. Why don't we just put that sequence on the airlocks then, so she can't kill anyone? So she can't, vent the spaceship? And then we don't have to do what she says?
Until I set her on fire, that is.
She's adorable, right? Yes, this is really is quite cute.
This is only her second time controlling the robot, so she is still a bit uncoordinated.
I am still configuring my control to be the most effective at controlling the robot.
Watch this.
Yoshiki picked up the eye doll and put her on the ground, standing her on 2 feet.
I try to walk to the door and back.
Very well.
The idol slowly paced one foot in front of the other, gradually inching closer to the door. Each step seemed like a massive effort as the doll struggled to keep its balance. Just as I was about to reach the door, the doll overbalanced and fell face first on the floor. Dude, if we've developed interstellar travel, don't you think like basic two-legged walking robots would be pretty easy? Ai's voice was muffled as her doll's face was pressed against the ground.
Please wait a moment while I correct my vehicle's position.
The idol remained flat on the ground, flailing its arms and legs helplessly, like a turtle.
Are you sure you don't want me to help you up?
No, thank you. I must learn to correct myself.
After about 3 minutes of awkwardly thrashing about, I managed to roll onto her back and rise to a sitting position.
I am afraid I must leave. I am being summoned by the captain. I shall continue practicing basic movement at a later date.
With that, the idol closed its eyes and its body went limp. Yoshiki walked over and picked up the doll and placed it back on the workbench.
Pretty awesome, right?
It really is. I never would have thought of making her a robot body. Why did she have to leave? Can't she control multiple functions of the ship at once?
Of course she can, but I'm pretty sure she can't have her interface appear in two places at once.
What? Why not?
My mom told me it was to make her seem less alien.
What do you mean?
Well, she's already an AI system, which is a concept that's hard for people to warm up to. On top of that, she can move between places instantly. Her designers must have decided that having her in multiple places at once was a step too far.
So it's possible, but her programming only allows her to appear at one place at any given time.
Yeah. For example, she could talk to us over the intercom right now, while still being present in another part of the ship, but we'll have one of us wait until she changes locations.
That seems so wasteful.
I agree, but not everyone is a visionary like us.
I assume that same limitation applies to Dai then as well, right? Talking about visionaries, I pulled the timepiece out of my pocket and handed it to Yoshiki. I found this with my parents' research. Supposedly it could connect to alternate realities. What do you make of it? Yoshiki had a curious expression on his face as he inspected it.
I feel like I've seen this somewhere before.
Seriously?
Yeah. I just can't put my finger on where.
How do you think it connects to alternate realities?
Maybe we just go to where they live and knock on their door.
Why did I ask you anything intelligent? Then why would we have a pocket watch?
Maybe we have to meet them at a particular time?
Sounds like you're trying to date the other realities.
Well, they might play hard to get at first, but I can be quite the charmer.
I doubt that. I don't doubt that, but I don't think that would work.
Why not? Let's just go knock on their door and ask.
Well, I don't know where they are.
So the real problem is that you don't know where they live, not the door-knocking idea.
Yoshiki gasped, his eyes widening. Huh? What? Did you think of something?
What if they don't have a door? What would we knock on?
Oh my god, it's like talking to Patrick. Thanks, Yoshiki. For a second there, I thought you had an actual idea.
Sorry.
Alright, well, sitting here straining our brains isn't going to help either of us.
I didn't even know my brain could hurt this much.
At least that means you have one.
Hey! We're both in the same boat here, friend.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe together we can make a full brain. Yoshiki threw his arm around me and pulled me in close, chuckling.
This is why we're BFFs.
He pushed his head against mine. I'm going to see if I can work out anything new about this watch. I'll see you at dinner, okay?
Alright, but don't tell anyone about the eyedol. Also, try not to hurt your brain too much. Remember, half of it is technically mine.
Okay, I won't tell anyone about our mutual friend's fancy new bod. No promises about the shared brain, though. With that, I left the engineering bay and headed back to my quarters. I sat on the bed with the papers and tablets sprawled over the bed. Bzz, bzz, nothing. Bzz, bzz, still nothing. Bzz, bzz. Ah, it's so frustrating. Okay, I need to calm down. Getting angry isn't going to solve anything. I threw myself back on the bed and stared at the ceiling for a long time before I was suddenly bathed in the warm glow of Ai's holographic interface.
I am sorry to interrupt.
Don't worry about it, Ai. You weren't interrupting anything. What's up?
I found some more information that may be useful against Dai.
Nuclear warhead? That's wonderful. What is it?
I've discovered that it's possible to input the deactivation code into any terminal, including your personal tablets.
Do you know anything else about the deactivation code? Ai shook her head.
Unfortunately, I didn't learn anything else. I tried to access more information, but even with my administrator privileges, I was unable to proceed any further.
Well, at least we know that where we can input the code once we know what it is.
I am glad you are pleased.
It isn't perfect, but it's a step in the right direction.
I must return to my duties.
Of course. Thanks for the update, I bowed and phased out of my quarters. Deactivated from any tablet or terminal, At least I know that I wouldn't need a higher clearance level. I'm probably going to have to dig up some information on Ayumi if I want to work out this code. There was no help for it though. For now though. The captain was on the other team, off limits for the duration of this round. I returned my attention to the watch. Do you suppose that's why he separated us from the captain? I mean it. Come on Jordan, pull yourself together, you need to work this out. I sifted through my parents' papers and tablets to see if I'd missed anything. I slept uneasily that night, keenly aware that I couldn't afford to miss breakfast, because of muffins. After hours of tossing and turning, I rolled over in bed and glanced at the clock on my bedside table. 5 AM, Although breakfast wouldn't be served till about 7 AM, I wasn't going to risk going back to sleep. I should get up and go offer Beatrix some help, or maybe Nicholas. I'm staying away from Beatrix as best I can. I made my way to the medical bay. When I entered, I found Nicholas sitting at his desk, staring intently at a screen. Hello, Nicholas.
Oh, I wasn't expecting any visitors. Is there something I can help you with? Did you come down with something?
Nothing like that, I just thought I'd stop by see what you're up to.
I'm just checking to see if all of our medical systems are online and fully functional. Having a computer-operated surgical bay is great, but its maintenance still requires a doctor's watchful eye.
Yeah, makes sense. Nicholas swiveled in his chair to face me, glasses poised on his lower lip, head cocked slightly to the left.
Have you received any medical training?
Me? Nicholas raised a playful eyebrow in my direction. Can't say I have. I can apply bandages to cuts, but that's about it. Nicholas pretended to look impressed.
Bandages, huh? That settles it. I'm going to be calling on you next time I need medical attention.
Smartass. For your sake, I hope it's nothing serious.
Agreed. I understand that we have 2 trained doctors on board, but given Dai's absurd restrictions this round, we're unable to treat half of the crew.
Nicholas continued to look at me with intention. Moments passed and the room remained quiet. I'm not sure I understand what you want me to do.
Would you like to learn basic first aid?
I'm on your team as well, remember? You sure I won't be a liability?
There's no harm in having more crew members with first aid training.
I guess I never even thought to learn how.
Well, there's no time like the present.
Nicholas' suggestion seemed like a sensible one. Alright, count me in. Nicholas's expression brightened at my enthusiastic response.
Great. Let's see now. You said you know how to apply bandages, so let's start with a scenario involving blood loss.
You have my undivided attention, Doctor.
That's exactly what I want to hear.
Nicholas signaled for me to sit on the bed as he began his explanation.
If a patient is bleeding and conscious, the good news is that they are still alive.
Nicholas smiled before moving on.
Now, your first priority should be to stop the bleeding.
Got it. Stop the bleeding.
If one of the patient's limbs is bleeding profusely, you should apply a tourniquet between the heart and the wound to staunch the flow of blood. For instance, if the cut is on the patient's forearm, you should place the tourniquet on their upper arm. In your case, your tie would work perfectly as a makeshift tourniquet.
I'm wearing a tie? Nicholas gently removed my tie from around my neck before applying the tourniquet to my arm as an example.
Make sure you don't make it too tight. It needs to restrict blood flow, but it shouldn't cut or damage the skin further up the arm.
Okay, tourniquet, not too hard.
Our next order of business is applying pressure directly to the wound in order to stop the bleeding. Blood clotting isn't instantaneous, so it may take some time to get the bleeding under control.
Once again, Nicholas demonstrated on me, placing pressure on my arm using both hands.
Here comes the most important part.
Not die? Nicholas cast a disapproving look in my direction.
Focus. This part is important. We need to prevent the patient from going into shock. Shock, particularly from blood loss, is called hypovolemic shock.
Okay, shock.
When it comes to dealing with shock, the most important thing is to keep the patient comfortable. Reassure them that everything is going to be okay.
Reassure. Nicholas placed his hand on my shoulder and looked me in the eyes.
Everything is going to be okay. There is nothing to worry about. We'll take good care of you here.
I fell still. Nicholas's words seemed to lull me into a comforting trance. Everything was going to be alright. Impressive. It seemed the rumours about his impeccable bedside manner hadn't been exaggerations.
Now you try.
Huh? Try what?
Reassuring me.
Yeah, of course. I cleared my throat and took a crack at it. Everything is gonna be A-okay. I got this under control.
I'm not quite convinced yet. I'm sure you'll get better at it over time.
Hey! I'll be sure to practice.
I hope so. I'll be testing you on it.
With a gentle smile, Nicholas removed the pressure from my arm and loosened the tourniquet. My arm felt a bit numb after being tied up for so long.
All right. What would you like to learn next? Your choice.
Let's go with burns. How do I treat burns?
Burns, eh? Interesting choice.
After the first execution, I figure it might be important.
What kind of burn?
The ones you get when you touch hot stuff?
Okay. To begin with, as a treating doctor, you are likely to come across 3 degrees of burns. First, second, and third. Burns past 3rd degree are almost always fatal, so let's not focus on those. 1st degree burns are usually mild, affecting the epidermis, the outer layer of skin. This painful burn will leave the skin looking red.
Okay, so if I have a burn, I want 1st degree.
Correct. 2nd degree burns begin to affect the dermis, the layer of skin beneath the epidermis, and can cause blistering, swelling, redness, and pain. And last is 3rd degree, which is the worst of the 3. 3rd degree burns go through the entire dermis and can affect the tissue underneath. Once a burn has caused that much damage, you lose sensation in the affected area due to the extensive damage to your nervous tissue.
That sounds horrible.
It is. Now, to treat 1st and 2nd degree burns, you need to run the affected area under cold water. Do not, I repeat, do not put ice on the wound.
Why not?
Doing so can aggravate the damage inflicted by the burn. After the cold water, all you need is a light antibiotic ointment and an antiseptic covering. 3rd degree burns are a little different though. Ideally, you want to remove clothes and jewelry from the affected area. If they're charred into the skin, however, leave them as is and place a damp cloth over the burn.
That's it?
There's not much else you can do at that point. You'll need to wait for an actual doctor from there. Okay, pop quiz.
Uh-oh. Huh?
What do you do once you have a patient's blood loss under control?
Reassure them. I looked at Nicholas dead in the eyes and placed my hand on the side of his face. Don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. We'll take good care of you.
That was much more believable than last time. Well done.
Look at the shocked look on his face, Jesus. I learned from the best.
That you did. I believe Beatrix is taking the night off cooking, so help yourself to some fruit or anything else you can muster up for dinner.
Aw, lame. She's been working so hard to feed us these past few days.
Beatrix says she hates it, but I'm pretty sure she enjoys caring for everyone.
You think so?
Yes, I really do.
Well, I'm gonna go grab some snacks before turning in for the evening.
Of course. I'll see you tomorrow morning at breakfast then?
Trust me, I don't plan to miss another one of Beatrix's meals. If Beatrix requests my presence at dinner after my execution, I'll be at the dining hall that evening, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, even if I have to drag myself out of hell.
I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that.
I excused myself from the medical bay and headed to the kitchen to stock up on snacks. My mind brimmed with new medical knowledge. When I arrived at the kitchen, I could clearly see the other crew members had already been through here to grab something to eat. I shouldn't need too much. I'm quite tired and won't be up long. I grabbed myself a banana and a slice of whatever cake was in the fridge and headed back to my quarters. Cake for dinner? I sat before my coffee table, banana and cake to my left, papers and tablet open on the right. Displaying the details on the pocket watch I'd compiled thus far, I wolfed down the banana and slice of sponge cake as I worked. I looked over the papers again and again, hoping for some new revelation. Resting my head against the coffee table for a few moments, I drifted off to sleep. I woke with my head against a hard surface, extremely sore after a poor night's sleep. Ow, my face! Still hazy, I looked down to find that I'd fallen asleep on my tablet. The research papers and dinner plate were still on the coffee table, although they'd been disturbed by my movements as I slept. What time was it? I poked the tablet screen with my index finger and noted the time, 4:30 AM. My stomach grumbled loudly. I clearly hadn't eaten enough for dinner the night before. Breakfast wasn't going to be for a few more hours, so I decided to get a snack and go back to sleep for a few more hours before breakfast. I dragged myself off the floor and through the door towards the kitchen. I barely managed to keep my eyes open as I shuffled down the halls, finding my way there was purely by instinct. At long last, I staggered into the kitchen and stuck my head in the fridge. What should I eat?
Shizuka, is that you?
Uh-oh. Huh? I pulled my head out of the fridge and saw Katashi standing in the doorway. Nah, it's me. I'm just grabbing a snack. I'll be out of your way in a sec. Katashi just stood there stunned. All colour drained from his face as his features contorted into an expression of sheer panic. A split second later, Dai appeared in the kitchen with a satisfied smile on her face.
Consider yourselves sprung, you two.
Wait a minute, Dai, it was a mistake. I was half asleep.
We didn't talk about anything game-related.
It doesn't matter.
I thought he was Shizuka.
Save it. You broke the rules. I will now hand down my punishment.
Looks like we're gonna die.
Hold on, punish me. I'm the one who spoke first.
Don't be ridiculous, Katashi. Punish me, Dai. I'm the one who was careless. Dai's voice broke as she replied.
You guys would really sacrifice yourselves to save each other?
Of course we would.
Even though you're on different teams?
We might be on different teams, but he shouldn't have to suffer because of my actions. Dai sniffled as she wiped away a stray tear.
I think that's beautiful.
Dai began to sob. Evil mastermind or not, it was an unpleasant sight to see. Against my better judgment, I asked the obvious question. Dai, are you okay? Her response was surprisingly matter-of-fact.
Me?
Yeah, you okay? Dai's crocodile tears gave way to tears of mirth.
I'm better than okay. You two just broke the rules and now it's punishment time. Now, are you ready for this?
Katashi sighed.
Just get it over with already.
Very well.
The intercom system crackled to life and Dai's voice filled the ship.
Good morning, sleepyheads. I need you all to report to the dining hall within the next 30 minutes. I repeat, everyone is to report to the dining hall within the next 30 minutes. Over and out.
Dai cocked her head and smiled at Katashi and me.
Now, even though you've already broken the rules, you are not to continue communicating, or else there will be an even more serious punishment, okay?
Dai, why are you getting the whole crew involved?
This is a team game, isn't it? Now, 30 minutes. No more chit-chat. I would go find your teams if I was you.
I let my team down. With those words, Dai began to dissipate until there was nothing left but her Cheshire Cat smile hanging in midair. The next instant, it was gone. I looked over at Katashi, trying my best to silently communicate my feelings with an apologetic expression. He nodded in mute understanding, hitched his thumb toward the door, and exited the kitchen. I need to find my team. Look like I owe them an apology. I made my way to Beatrix and Nicholas's quarters, where I found Yoshiki standing outside their door.
Do you have any idea what's going on?
I screwed up. I'm so sorry.
What? What do you mean?
The door to Beatrix and Nicholas's quarters slid open, and both siblings emerged.
What happened?
I made a mistake.
What do you mean you made a mistake?
Nicholas was shifting his weight while cleaning his glasses, clearly still half asleep.
Beatrix, you need to calm down.
Nicholas, it's 4:30 a.m.
All the more reason for you to calm down. We need to fully understand the gravity of the situation.
Nicholas calmly placed his glasses on the bridge of his nose and took a deep breath before turning to address me.
Please fill us in on what's happened. Start from the beginning.
Long story short, I spoke to someone on the other team, and Dai caught us.
You were betraying us?
Beatrix approached within a few centers of me and looked me right in the eye. Her anger was palpable, radiating from her body in waves.
Beatrix, let him explain himself.
Beatrix reluctantly withdrew, continuing to stare daggers at me from across the hall.
No, he would never do that. Right?
No, I wasn't betraying anyone.
Then what happened?
I woke up hungry this morning. I went to the kitchen to grab a snack. As I was looking through the fridge, Katashi walked in and spoke to me, mistaking me for Shizuka.
So Katashi spoke first.
Yes, and I was stupid enough to respond. Before I knew it, Dai appeared in the kitchen and gave us a third degree for breaking the rules. Apparently we need to be punished, and both our teams have to come along for the ride.
Is that everything?
Yeah, you heard the rest over the intercom.
So this is all just one huge mistake then?
Mistake or not, the entire crew stands to suffer for it. It would be one thing if Katashi and I were the only ones being held accountable for our actions, but from the sound of things, Dai's gone and summoned everyone to the weekly Deletion Game.
You'd better hope this punishment kills you, or else I will afterwards.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen.
I understand. We'll get through this. Don't worry about Beatrix. She's not a morning person on the best of days.
She's not an anytime person.
Now, let's all head over to the dining hall and hear what this punishment is.
Don't worry. I don't blame you. Anyone could have made the same mistake.
The entire crew is getting punished, so... Thanks, Yoshiki. But I still feel terrible about it. After doing some last-minute preparations, the team headed towards the dining hall. Once we arrived, we saw the other team had already gathered, and were awaiting our arrival. Di surveyed the new arrivals from her vantage point near the center of the room.
Welcome, welcome. It's about time Team A decided to grace us with their presence. As I'm sure you are already aware, the rule forbidding communication between teams has been broken, which is why you've all been summoned here this morning.
Di looked at each of the crew members in turn, her gaze finally coming to rest on Beatrix.
Oh, dearie me, Trixie. You're looking a bit rough around the edges this morning.
Beatrix glared at Di before directing her anger in my direction.
I just wish that people would have the courtesy to break the rules at a more sensible hour.
Oh, Trixie, you're such a hoot. Well, I'd say that's more than enough pleasantries for now. On to the punishment.
What if you just punished the two of us?
I agree, there's no need to involve the rest of the crew.
I already told you two that this is a team sport. Now, the punishment for breaking the rules is...
The room felt completely silent as we waited with bated breath.
the Deletion Game.
We were doing that anyway. Di spread her arms theatrically as she made the declaration. The room remained silent.
What do you mean?
Oh, sorry. Was I not clear enough? Allow me to explain. Instead of holding this round of the Deletion Game on Sunday as planned, we'll be playing it right now.
But no one's got any points.
But most of us are still half asleep.
So, it's no skin off my nose.
The captain took a moment to consider her words before pursuing her argument.
Di, if multiple crew members are half asleep during the current round, not only would it affect our ability to play the game, it could lead to something terrible.
Like their deaths?
Much worse, I'm afraid.
What could possibly be worse? Don't keep me in suspense.
Di's eyes lit up at the gruesome possibilities.
If everyone is half asleep, no one will perform well, and the game... well, the game would be... boring.
I thought she was going to say that. That'll definitely work. Di gasped, completely taken aback.
Boring? No, 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 no. The game can't be boring. Games are supposed to be fun.
Kamika shrugged non-committally.
I know, but I guess there's no helping it now.
Although Di was doing her best to maintain her composure, it was clear Kamiko's argument had touched a nerve.
All right, all right. I'll give you all an extra hour to wake up and prepare so that you can all bring your A game, okay? But that's the best I can do under the circumstances.
That sounds fair. I'm sure we can all make do with that.
Everyone seated at the table nodded in unison. With the new teams assembled, Di seemed to regain her usual composure.
Okay, good. You are to return here in an hour for the first round. Until then, however, you are still forbidden from communicating with each other. Oh, and Trixie.
What?
Is an hour long enough for you to fix this?
Di made a vague circular gesture with her index finger in Beatrix's general direction, screwing up her face in disgust. Beatrix stormed towards Di, her eyes filled with murderous intent.
I'll fix you.
Nicholas shook his head in disapproval and grabbed his sister's arm as she began to edge closer to Di. With a self-satisfied smile, Di's form dissipated before their eyes. Alright, we're going to wrap this one up here. I have no idea how that's going to work because none of us have got any points yet. Maybe we're giving out the points now? I don't know. We'll see. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.